Hi, my name is Sarah Smith and I'm a horticulturalist here at Rogers Gardens, and today I'm going to be talking to you about attracting hummingbirds to your garden. There's so many different things we can do to attract hummingbirds. Once you have a good hummingbird population in your area or in your neighborhood, they are going to stay there. Once they figure out a good spot, especially here in Southern California, some of our hummingbirds are a little territorial, so once they find your area, they're going to be there forever. So once you start attracting those hummingbirds, make sure that you're keeping your hummingbird feeders clean. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Keep them filled because they can go through them pretty quickly, especially in the springtime when you have a lot of hungry babies in your yard. And what kind of plants you can plant to attract them initially. You do not need to have a hummingbird feeder to attract hummingbirds to your garden. I have tons of hummingbirds. I have a huge family right now with a lot of little babies, and I don't have a single hummingbird feeder in my yard. It's all about the plants that I have in my garden. So today I'm going to show you some of the great things that you can plant and then talk a little bit about hummingbird feeder care because that's very important. So let's get started. So here I've collected quite a few different hummingbird attracting plants. One comment that I hear a lot here at the nursery is that, oh, I don't have any sun in my garden, so I can't plant hummingbird attracting plants. And that's actually not true. So I brought a couple of the ones that work well for the shade too. And then some different styles. I think we all kind of get sucked into the idea that hummingbirds need the tubular style flowers like that, and that's all they're attracted to, but that's not true. There's quite a lot of different things they're attracted to, so diversity is huge in the garden for hummingbirds. They like all different kinds of things, so I wouldn't go run out and just plant a ton of salvia. Salvia traditionally is the thing we kind of think about. We think that it has to be red flowers. This is great, and the hummingbirds absolutely love it, but they like all different kinds of flowers and all different kinds of shapes and colors too. So I want to talk a little bit about that. First, we will talk about the salvia though. This is one of the most common thought of hummingbird attracting plants. Nice little tubular flower, does have that really beautiful red color, but this comes in all different kinds of colors, and the hummingbirds here are bouncing around from all the different colors all day long. They like them all. So it comes in purples, reds, whites, pinks as well, and they love all of them just as equally, I find. So you do notice that we do have a lot of that very tubular style plant. This is a perennial plant, but there's also a lot of great annuals that they really like too. Foxgloves, they love. I love absolutely the lupins. This lupin's just getting ready to flower. It comes in all different kinds of beautiful colors. They go nuts for the lupins in my yard. It's really funny. The Anna hummingbirds tend to be the kind of territorial hummingbirds, and that's the one I have the most of, and man, they fight over the lupins. It's really funny. But those are both annuals as well as, I absolutely love this. The common name on this sometimes is called summer snapdragon. This is Angelonia, and Angelonia comes in a lot of different colors as well, and I just absolutely love it, especially when I have all of my snapdragons in my garden and they start to kind of peter out when it gets a little bit hot. This one's great, and this one's really, really long lasting. In fact, I've kind of come to love this more than the regular snapdragons. I just think it's so pretty and graceful looking because it's got a little bit of a beautiful foliage and a thinner flower. It's very, very pretty. They look really good mass planted. But it's not all about the tubular flowers. They also love these guys too, and they go absolutely bonkers for this. This one here is pentas. Pentas comes in a lot of different colors. There is a red pentas, and they do like those as well, but they like all the colors with the pentas. I absolutely see them buzzing this all day long here at the garden. I'm sure at one point maybe we'll even get a shot of one of the hummingbirds coming through. But that's not your traditional tubular bell-shaped kind of hanging flower that we're sort of used to. They absolutely love this, and the lantana too. And the lantana doesn't really, if you look closely at the flowers, they have that throat to them, but it's not that kind of traditional shape. So it's really nice to mass plant a lot of different things. You don't want all just one thing in your garden anyways. So you want to think about heights, form and shape of the plants just to make your garden attractive, and that you can also, one just went by, you can also plant stuff that's low and sprawling as well, and things in shade too. they are really attracted. This is heuchera. Heuchera grows very, very well in shade. They also love bleeding hearts. There's all kinds of shade plants that they absolutely love. Heuchera is really great. There's California native heucheras that we sell. There's different colored leafed heucheras, which are really pretty. We tend to kind of use heucheras like they use hostas back east because they have a lot of really beautiful different foliage colors. They come in purples and all kinds of really great colors as well. So you can absolutely get away with having all kinds of different plants, all kinds of different diversity to get all those hummers super attracted to your garden. Another really great plant that attracts the hummingbirds but also attracts the butterflies is buddleia. This is called butterfly bush. The smell of this is absolutely heavenly. I love the smell of these plants. A lot of the plants that attract hummingbirds also attract butterflies. So if you've got a good population of hummingbirds in your yard, chances are you're going to get a really good population of the butterflies in there as well. So it's another really great one to make sure you add into your garden. So next I want to talk about maintaining hummingbird feeders. If you have hummingbird feeders in your yard, it's really important that you're keeping them well maintained. You are filling them with sugar water, so there are some things that can happen. One, ants. So you want to make sure that you have it in an area that where you're watching it, making sure that it's not getting infested by ants. And also the sugar can grow different kinds of molds and bacteria. So you do want to make sure that you keep them very, very well cleaned. We sell all different kinds of hummingbird feeders. I think going with a nice glass hummingbird feeder is the best, because if this is in the sun and it's plastic and it's filled with sugar water, that can cause all kinds of issues. Having a glass feeder is nice because they're easier to clean and maintain as well. And there's all different kinds of hummingbird feeder shapes. So this one, you fill the body with the nectar, you twist the bottom on, and then you invert it, and they're getting the nectar from these little spots right here. With one of the ones that have the little tube that hangs down, the key with those, I find a lot of people say, oh, it leaks all the time. You have to fill them completely up, flip them over very quickly. It works like a vacuum. So make sure you're not just filling those up partially, fill it all the way to the tippy top, put the cork in and flip it over. That's very important for making sure you don't get a leaky hummingbird feeder. We sell hummingbird nectar here in the store as well. You'll notice our hummingbird nectar is clear. You never want to add any kind of strange colors or dyes to your hummingbird nectar. You can also make your own nectar at home. It's just 1 part of sugar to 4 parts of water. Regular sugar, you don't want to use any kind of strange sugars or corn syrups or anything like that, just straight sugar to water. And then when you're cleaning your hummingbird feeders, you really want to check them at least every other day and see if they need to be refilled. Make sure that they're not leaking, and make sure that they're very, very clean. When you're washing your hummingbird feeders, you do want to use warm soapy water, and make sure you rinse it completely until there's no more soaps in that. The last thing the hummingbird wants is soapy nectar. So you want to make sure you keep them very clean for those hummingbirds so they keep coming back. Like I said, once a hummingbird figures out where your hummingbird feeder is, it might take them a while, so be patient. Keep refilling it, keep making sure that it's clean until they actually discover it. Once you've got them there, you're never going to get rid of them. They're going to come back, and they'll come back with all their family and friends, and you'll have to keep that really filled. So make sure you're checking that every other day just to make sure that it's keeping filled and well maintained. We also sell different types of feeders that aren't just the hanging feeders. I absolutely love these guys. These ones that you just actually poke into your plant. So it comes on a little tiny stake. You push it right into your plant. It has this beautiful little glass top here with the red flower. It is very shallow, so check this one daily for nectar. And you want to make sure too that wherever you're putting your hummingbird feeders, whether they're hanging ones or ones on stakes like this that you can put in your pottery, that you're keeping it away from where birds or other predators, even dogs, can get to your hummingbirds. So just make sure you're keeping them well protected and keeping their safety in mind when you're placing your hummingbird feeder. So there's all different kinds of ways to attract hummingbirds to your garden. I always say first focus on plants, and then you can add the hummingbird feeders to the garden if you're getting a really good selection of birds and family of birds in your yard. Again, it attracts butterflies as well. It's great for all the pollinators, the bees too. It's just really nice to have activity in your yard, be able to go out, see your little baby hummingbirds. I know I have a great little family right now. There's 2 babies in my yard, and it's so fun to watch them grow up. They even kind of interact with me when I go out into the garden and water. It's just such a great thing to have in the garden and something to look forward to every single day. So thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure that you're signing up for our emails. We put all kinds of really great information out there. You're always going to be the first one to know about all the different specials we have coming up, all the new plants coming up, seminars, live streams as well. Follow us on Facebook and on our Instagram too, and subscribe to that YouTube page because you get all kinds of great information there as well. Stay well, be safe, and happy gardening.